Are you ready to kickstart your week with some dirt slinging and tire slaying action motorsports radio that packs the biggest guests?
Hi, Ken Block here.
Hey, my name's Jolene Van Butte.
What's up, Brian Deegan here.
Vaughn Ginn Jr. here.
They've been thrown into one show that has broken down the barriers of what a motorsports radio show should be. This is the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, with support from General Tire, KMC Wheels, Dirtfish, Gibson Exhaust, and MTX Audio, with your host, who also happens to spend his weekends flying 800 horsepower trucks through the dirt, Jim Beaver.
When was the last time you saw an off-road or rally driver begging to get behind the wheel of a NASCAR Indy car? Yep, not happening, but you sure see these pavement racers begging to drive our cars.
And his partner in crime every week, a self-proclaimed Canadian moto chick who was jumping triples and taking podiums before most guys even learned to ride, Amy Hood.
No one knows how to say my last name. Like, is it really that hard? Amy Hood, like I'm from the hood. Don't get it twisted.
Sit back, strap in, and be prepared to join us as we take you through a motorsports ride like no other. Here is the man who carries a steering wheel in one hand and a mic in the other, Jim Beaver.
Good morning. Welcome to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, kicking off another show. It's all about the Razor life today. Trying out a new system here with Amy with the phone line, so hopefully it works. Bear with us a week. We'll get this thing dialed in. But how's everything how's everything up there in Winnipeg, Amy?
Oh, it's doing pretty good here. It's cold and rainy, but, it's good to be back home.
Yeah, I know. Man, it's been a while for you. I'm sure, getting back to the grind. You guys finally back on a dirt bike too, right?
Oh, absolutely. I had my first Canadian ride of the year, and I absolutely slayed it. And I kind of thought I was going to forget how. So I'm pretty happy with it.
Nice. Well, today it's all about the Razor life. We got Rob Blanton from Warfighter Made. He's calling in. We got Sara Price making her trophy truck debut this past weekend. Huge news coming out of off-road. She's going to be on the line to talk about racing some trophy trucks. And then we've also got making her first-time appearance here on the radio show. We got Lindsey Hayes, one of the hosts of Destination Polaris. Destination Polaris, the new season kicking off this weekend. We got her on air to talk about that and a bunch of these Razor rides she's been going on. So definitely going to be a fun one today. Joe Duncan, we got some Supercross to talk about. Lots of racing action over the weekend, and I'm heading to the Indy 500 next weekend. So I don't know. It's going to be a packed show here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When RJ Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. RJ is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount. As certain as the sun rises and sets around the world, OTSFF Group is dedicated to providing flexible, comprehensive, and reliable transportation solutions. Air transportation, ocean freight, ground transportation, or a combination of services. We offer innovative and custom-built packages specifically designed to meet your transportation needs. OTSFF Group has been keeping shipments moving globally for nearly 2 decades. OTSFF Group, flexible logistics services designed for you. More information at OTSFF.com. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, kicking off another edition of your favorite action motorsports radio show. And man, I got so many announcements to cover for sponsors and stuff like that. We got a lot of stuff going on. One thing that you guys got to know is, I know I've been getting a bunch of messages. Hey, when is the next Star Car video? It was actually supposed to drop today, but we have this amazing thing with Polaris called Salute to Heroes. And because that launched, we are delaying it by 2 weeks till later on this month. I think it's like May 30th. So we'll be debuting the new Star Car video. That'll be dropping later on this month. But Razor Salute to Heroes, we got my buddy Rob from Warfighter Made. He's calling into the show. He's going to give us all the details. Basically, Warfighter Made and Polaris Razor teaming up with the Diesel Brothers. They're doing a drive basically for donations for Warfighter Made. Now through Memorial Weekend, they're going to be giving away some amazing prizes. We've got razors they're giving away, all kinds of stuff. We're going to get all the details coming at you from Rob from Warfighter Made later on in the show. And we've also got General Tire, man. They are dropping a promotion as well starting this week. And General Tire, you buy 4 qualifying General Tires, and you know what? They're going to give you a $70 gift card. That's right, $70 just for buying tires. Not too shabby. So definitely get in on that. You're looking for some tires? Do it in the next couple of weeks. General Tire, they got a $70 gift card for you if you buy 4 of those General Tire grabbers or any of their other tires. But yeah, so I don't know. Hood, you've been riding dirt bikes. I've been out here in Arizona. I'm literally getting ready to hop a plane in another day, and I'm heading to Indianapolis Motor Speedway for Indy 500 qualifying. Get to see our boy Connor Daly. I've already been sending him messages, so that should be entertaining, I think. It's an understatement, I think. Yeah, so definitely looking forward to that. I'll be grabbing some interviews and be sprinkling them into this show and Project Action as well. But yeah, it's been a fun ride these past couple weeks. Kind of looking forward to getting on the road again. And I know it's kind of weird. How about you? You've been on the road for so darn long. Now you're at home. Does it feel kind of weird not being not traveling?
Oh, absolutely. I don't like it. Like, I love living out of a suitcase. I love being on the road and being in a different city every weekend, and and the hotel life. Like, that's kind of my thing. Like, I love it. But it's been nice being back home again. I got to go to the first Canadian ride of the year and, loaded up the motorhome with my mom and dad and some of my girlfriends, and it was so much fun. Like, that's why I like to come home, is to do all that kind of stuff. But today my boyfriend's flying in from the States. Actually, he's flying in from Argentina. He was at a Monster Jam show in Argentina, so he's coming over to Winnipeg. I get to show him, the flat old prairies of Winnipeg. Woohoo! And it's raining. Yay. But we'll have some fun. We're going to go riding. I'm going to have a big ride day here in Minnesota. It's going to be called, like, Moto Fest. It's the summer kickoff ride at the big sand pits, motorhomes, bonfires. It's going to be a blast. So yeah, I'm excited, just doing the family and friends thing. It's nice to kind of get back to the roots.
I'm kind of bummed out.
I do have to say, I had serious anxiety heading out to the track on the weekend. I just didn't know if I was going to be able to kind of, like, keep up with my own speed and, all the other people here that I used to ride against. And And even when I put my helmet on, sat on my bike, I had anxiety going into heading out to the track for the first time. And man, I guess all that monster trucking really kept me in shape because I surprised myself and I was able to keep up. Some of my friends who I raced against last year in 250B class who moved up to pro, I still kept up to them. And I realized after that they had their pro plates on, so I felt pretty good. I'm pretty happy with my riding abilities. Mind you, I could really only do 5 solid, super fast laps, but I still had it.
Yeah, and it's funny because anybody who follows you on social media knows you are in the gym all the time. You're killing it. You're crushing it. But, riding moto is, it's a total different group of muscles that you use for that.
Totally.
I got Paul Rodriguez, professional skateboarder, on Project Action this next week. We already did the interview, and he's got this new series that he's doing, Can I Hang? And basically, he's a in shape professional skateboarder, but he's going out and he's training for a day with NFL football players, with Olympic sprinters, with the most elite athletes in the world to see if he can hang with them and their their fitness levels. And like we were talking, like I told him, I said, I'm not in as good a shape as I used to be, but I said I'm still all right. I mean, I can go and do a 400-mile off-road race, and I'm okay. But I said the muscles that I use, I know what I need to do so I can get through a race. I said I can do something stupid like go out and golf, and it'll be like my first time golfing in a year, and I get muscles sore that I didn't even know I had because it's some stupid weird little muscle, in your back or something that you never use. And I'm like, oh crap, but you use it to golf. You know what I mean? And is it like that with you in moto? I mean, you train all the time, but there's some of these muscles that you only use in moto and you're like, oh crap, man.
Oh, absolutely. But that's why I do a ton of different type of cross training at the gym. I try not to just lift weights and put them down. And everybody always thinks they always stare at me when I'm at the gym because I'm doing these weird workouts. But, it's still, but nothing is going to be like being on the bike, especially your cardiovascular endurance and, the standing up and sitting down, and especially if you're an aggressive rider like myself, and depending on the track conditions, our tracks here are not like California. They get rough and beat up and braking bumps, but I love that. I like the rough tracks. But, yeah, there's just really nothing like going out and riding. You can train all you want. But, it helps. It definitely helps. My first ride of the year last year compared to this year felt a lot different. That's for darn sure. But there's really nothing like sitting on a dirt bike. And I'm sure that's how it is in every other sport as well, too. And just like you said, I went and did yoga when I got home for the first time. And I kind of took a break for a little while. And as low impact as yoga looks, I could not move 3 days after. Even riding a dirt bike, I felt fine the next day compared to doing yoga because you use completely different muscles. And, yeah, just every sport has its own, unique variables that your body just needs to really learn to adapt to. But that's why I do every form and sort of cross-training. I try to swim. Yoga is great because you're using a lot of your own body weight. It's just, you gotta shake it up to be able to utilize and target all the different muscles. So it's pretty wild. I can only imagine what triathlon athletes, how they train,
Yeah, or I know talking with Dave Mira, who I think about Dave just about every single day, every time I look at my bike. But talking with him in one of the last interviews I did with him, he was he was one of the first guys to come into BMX and literally, train for it and lift weights. And he was muscular and everything else. But he said when he went from, riding BMX and being able to take crashes and things like that to triathlons and the swimming and the running and the biking, he's like, dude, I was too big. He's I had to shed weight, you know what I mean? And he shed a lot of that muscle, and but he said it's just a complete different animal. And he says, you want to talk about the best athletes in the world? He's like, dude, he says, it's just crazy, the fitness level of triathletes. Yeah. It's just maddening, to be able to do that. I mean, go and swim a mile.
Ryan Dungey.
Yeah.
Ryan Dungey and Robson, and I believe Eli Tomac, I believe they do a lot of triathlon in the off season because, again, they say the triathlete is one of the most, physically fit athlete out there.
Yeah, Dungey's just a super freak, too. Like, I mean, you know, say what you want. That guy's fitness level is, I mean, it's crazy. I don't even want to know what his diet looks like because I'm sure it's nothing that I would even fathom eating. Like, he is so, like, there's not an ounce of fat on that guy at all, period.
I know.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. And that's the thing, like, you know, like you said with Gabe Ramirez, you know, there's some sports like football that require you to be big and muscular, and there's other ones like triathletes and motocross that requires you to be lean, mean machines. So yeah, it's really cool to see the dynamic of different athletes and their different you know, disciplines.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we got to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. We come back, we got a little bit of Supercross news and rumors, and we had some Torque kickoff. We got some Best of the Desert, and a whole lot more here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Are you looking for a place to push yourself behind the wheel and see how your driving skills stack up? Dirtfish Rally School is that place. Located on 315 acres of pristine automotive playground at the foot of the Cascade Mountains in Snoqualmie, Washington, right outside of Seattle, Dirtfish Rally School is a one-of-a-kind place where everyone from first-time drivers to seasoned professionals like Bucky Lassick and Antoine Lestage can push themselves to their limit. Whether driving the high-performance, rally-prepped all-wheel drive Subaru Impreza STI is what you're looking for, or you'd rather hang it all out in the rear-wheel drive Subaru BRZs, Dirtfish Rally School has something for everyone. Classes are available from 2 hours to 3 full days and feature instructors with over 150 years of combined racing experience. Whether you're looking to become the best and get an edge on the competition, or just looking to freshen your skills behind the wheel, Dirtfish Rally School is the place to go. For more information on registering for classes, visit Dirtfish on the web at dirtfish.com, or to check out the latest happenings from Dirtfish, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Dirtfish Rally.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here. And so, Hood, over the past week or so since Supercross wrapped up, I know the big news coming out, you know, gosh. So last week, I guess we ought to step back here. I'm getting all over the place. But so I did that interview with Ryan Dungey. I did that interview with Ryan Dungey, right? And I did it the Friday before the Supercross finale. And we were talking about kind of getting burned out, and and you were just talking about his fitness level and things like that. And I was, and how taxing it is for the Supercross season. And you could tell, like, the guy just needs some time off, right? And so he wins the championship, and everybody, he's getting bad-mouthed all over the internet, poor guy. He won the damn championship fair and square, but, it's one of those things where now the rumors are coming out, oh, he's going to retire, oh, he's going to take outdoors off. I mean, I think personally, he never was really committal to outdoors. I know he was testing with KTM. When we did our interview, he was actually doing some testing earlier that week. It got pushed back because he was actually doing testing with KTM for their outdoor program. But it doesn't necessarily mean he's committed to running outdoors. To me, I think he's taking outdoors off, and this is all a guesstimate on my part. I bet he takes outdoors off, and I bet he makes an announcement. He's doing one more Supercross season. He comes back in 2018. He tries to win another title, and win or lose, he just bows out. But I think he's going to have his swan song, and you know what I mean, where he goes and does it. He lets the fans know, this is my last year, win or lose. That's kind of my feeling on it. What do you think?
Oh, man, I don't know. He's young still, but I don't know if he's accomplished everything that he set out to accomplish. I feel like, maybe if he wins, this outdoor season, which, come on, let's face it, he's probably, the man in the running. But I don't know. I just feel like Ryan Dungey has a lot to prove, and he has a lot of gas in the tank, and, he's really not challenged. He's never been faced with any serious injury. He's always been on the top of his game, and oftentimes we see these champions go out when there's, someone who's really pushing them, and, there's a big chance of them maybe not winning. But I don't know. I feel like the industry would be a lot different scene if there was no Ryan Dungey. But I really would like to see him race a Supercross series, a Supercross season with Ken Roczen. And I feel like Ryan is a very stand-up guy. He won't go out without, battling it out with Ken Roczen to really see who is the best and who is going to be the Supercross champion. I think that's what Ryan will want to accomplish before he goes out. When Ken is at the top of his game, before Ken was a rookie and he was young, and, it was Ryan's game, not Kenny's. Kenny was the rookie. But now, once Ken Roczen heals and, gets back to where he was before he got injured, I think that Ryan really wants to challenge him and make sure that he goes out on top.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he's always going to question whether he would have, been victorious over Ken Roczen or not. And I don't think he's going to go out without proving that to himself.
Yeah, and I've always wondered with Dungey, he won his first championship in 2010, and then there went 3 or 4 years where he didn't win a championship. I think he won an outdoor championship somewhere in there. But he went 3 or 4 years Supercross without a title, and that was because Villopoto was so dominant. And it was always Villopoto 1, Dungey 2, Villopoto 1, Dungey 2. And I always wonder if there's something in the back of Dungey's mind where he feels like, man, I never, he thinks he can beat Villopoto, and he's never going to know. It's I wonder if that's one of those things that sits back there in his mind and goes, it's I beat everybody, but that's the one guy I couldn't get to. You wonder if that's in his mind somewhere, because it seems like it was always that way. It was Villopoto 1, Dungey 2. I mean, Villopoto might make a mistake and Dungey'd win, but for the most part, it was 1 and 2,
Yeah, but I believe that, every generation has their champion. And Dungey was making that name for himself and working his way up there while Villopoto was in the prime of his career. And, that era was the Villopoto era, and now is the Dungey era. And I think Dungey needs to get in and out before it becomes the Roczen era, and he, gets overshone by Ken Roczen. Because let's face it, once Kenny is back, it's going to be his show. It's going to be the Ken Roczen show.
But here's a question for you. You're saying it's going to be the Ken Roczen show, but from what I saw from Tomac this year, what do you take, 9 wins? I mean, it could be the Tomac and Roczen show. We could be setting ourselves up for a really good battle between those two guys.
Yeah, I still think Tomac has a lot to come from still. He's extremely inconsistent. He's not the Ryan Dungey. Tomac will always kind of be this black stallion, kind of wild card. He goes up and down. He's a very radical rider, so I do find that, injury might plague him. And, I mean, we all seen how he rides when he was out in front. He makes little mistakes when he has that red plate, and he's in ahead of his competition. Dungey is this cool, calm, collective rider who goes out and wins championship after championship because of his riding demeanor. And I think just Ryan Dungey's on a whole different mental level than Eli Tomac. Eli will get there, maybe. Like, I see Eli a little bit more as a James Stewart rather than a Villapoto, and I see Ryan Dungey a lot more like Villapoto than anybody else.
Yeah, well, he's so calculated. It's just crazy, Dungey. I mean, everything, he's like an assassin, It's like everything is calculated. It's done to a T. Like, there's no mistakes. There's no, like, wild, willy-nilly, Russian roulette with Dungey. Exactly. It's, and some of those other guys, like, and it's like he's so mentally focused. It's tough to get in the guy's head. You know what I mean? And it really is. And I think that's what guys have, Supercross, I read this deal with McGrath, and he's like, it's all about the mind games. It's all about the mind games. He's like, he's like, when I was in my prime, I could get on the gate and knew I had it won before it even dropped, because he's like, anybody that could have beat me, he's like, before the race, I went up and said something or did something, and he's like, I got in their head. He's like, I knew when the gate dropped, it was mine to lose. And Dungey, you can't play mind games. You just can't get in the guy's head, period, I don't think.
No, and again, that comes from being such a seasoned rider. He's, been on the hunt for the championship. He's been ahead and having to defend his title in this championship. He's just kind of experienced all angles of it, and it's made him who he is. And I think Ryan will always go down in history as that cool, calm, collected rider. And yet again, like, he's just, it doesn't even look like it's challenging to him. Like, it's breezy, easy peasy breezy for him, which is cool, because I've never seen any other rider be able to really have that type of demeanor when defending a championship.
Yeah, it's pretty, I don't know, it's crazy. I got to kind of
I feel like he rides that red plate with confidence.
Oh.
Honestly, probably the most confident riders I've ever witnessed in history. He just knows his place and knows what he's capable of, turns it on when he needs to be turned on, and makes very smart decisions. It's incredible.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's been a pleasure to watch him the past couple of years, whether he retires or not. But speaking of cool, calm, and collected, we got a couple minutes here. We got to talk a little bit about Best in the Desert, because they were in action in Laughlin over the weekend. Same track I raced 3 weeks ago with the UTV World Championship. Boom, it's back. I didn't have the trophy truck at this one this year. I was kind of bummed out, but been doing so much Razor stuff, the truck just wasn't prepped. But these results brought to you by our good friends at General Tire. And don't forget, they got a $70 gift card. You buy 4 General Tires right now through, I believe, June 15th. But speaking of cool, calm, and collected, Jason Voss collecting another win. This guy is just on a roll, man. He's kind of like the Ryan Dungey of trophy truck at this point. You've also got the trophy truck killer, Harley Lettner. We've had him on the show a few times. My buddy grew up here in Parker with me, and taking the overall victory in a Class 1 car. No easy feat, but big props to Harley taking the victory there at Laughlin. And then Steve Kovac taking the 6100 title. And looks like we had what do we have? Randy Merritt with the 7200 win, and we had Keith Weibel with the 8100 win. Our friend Sarah Price taking second in the 8100 class. That was the very first group. So solid. I don't know, weekend of racing there at Laughlin, Mother's Day weekend. It's so funny because a lot of times, guys take motorsports off, right? These series and stuff taking motorsports off. This week we had Best of the Desert in action. We had Torque in action. We had Formula Drift in action. We had ARA Rally in action. Then we even had World RX in action. So it was pretty interesting weekend, man. I found it definitely entertaining for a Mother's Day weekend, right? So I don't know. How about you, Amy? Mother's Day weekend, normally motorsports take it off, and it seemed like this year, man, we had like 4 or 5 different series that were in action over Mother's Day weekend. I don't know. You liking it? You hating it? What's your feelings on racing on Mother's Day?
Oh, I think it's awesome. I mean, my number one supporter on Mother's Day is always, or when I'm at the track, is always going to be my mom. So I think it's maybe a little bit of more motivation for, drivers or athletes to give her that little extra for your mom out there supporting you. But, I mean, I think any holiday I'd rather be out doing what I love to do than hanging out. No, I just bring my mom to the track.
Yeah. Well, your mom loves it too. Like she's turned into a really good photographer and everything else. Like she digs it, I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, her only daughter and her husband race motocross. I mean, You gotta love it. They met at the motocross track, Brothers Road. But that's just our family dynamic. That's what we do. We are at the track every weekend, and that's where my mom likes to be. Actually, yesterday or on Sunday it was Mother's Day, and she's been sick all week, and I wanted to take her out for dinner and some speed, and she's like, no, I spent my weekend at the motocross track. Like that's where I want to be. I had the best weekend. And, we had a blast together. And that's really what it's all about.
Yeah. All right, we got to take a short break. And when we come back, Sara Price, she's going to be on the line to talk about the big trophy truck race this past weekend. We'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Since 1970, KC Highlights has been designing and manufacturing performance lighting for off-road and motorsports, beginning with the legendary Daylighter up until today's revolutionary Flex, Pod, and Pro 6 lighting systems. KC Highlights offers a full line of halogen, HID, and LED lighting solutions for your off-road vehicle. Looking for the best quality lighting? Looking for the brand champions choose? You're looking for KC Highlights. Find out more information at kchighlights.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KC Highlights.
Life is all about sound. The sound of sports. The sound at the racetrack. And the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268-horsepower, turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305-horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, along with Amy Hood. Like to welcome our next guest to the line, Miss Sara Price, good mutual friend of all of ours. How's everything going, Sara?
Good. How are you guys?
Hey, girl.
I'm doing well. I'm a little jealous though, Price. You go trophy truck racing without me, man. I'm like so bummed. Mine was sitting in the shop, and here's Sara Price going to Laughlin, romping on her trophy truck. How was it? I mean, like to go back before we get to Sara real quick though, like I've been sitting on this news since the UTV World Championship. Sarah's sitting there with me at the table, and she's like glowing, like bouncing like a freaking ping pong ball there. And I'm like, what's going on, Price? And like she shows me her phone, and this was RPM reaching out to her about racing a trophy truck. We're getting ready to go live on air. I get this big news, and I can't talk about it for like a month. And so, like, how was it to finally have this cat out of the bag, Price?
Oh my gosh, you have no idea. Like, so many people, this is mine and the world, I would say, in motorsports is their life dream to be able to race a trophy truck. Like, there's not many people that can say that they've gone and done that. And to get that opportunity, I was jumping in my shoes, completely shocked, speechless, had no idea what to think. And when I got the first phone call, I already felt like that. Then I got the second phone call that they were going to let Erica be my co-driver. And then I was even more kind of like, oh, my gosh, are you serious? This is happening. We're doing this together. Like, I have my team coming into this new truck and with the best team in off-road. Like, nothing beats RPM in a Geyser Brothers truck. Nothing beats it.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I'm just amped. I mean, I know, like, how much testing did you get to do, and I know you guys ended up having to change a tire. I want to know how that went, because I got to tell you, like, I want to think I'm a pretty I'm a pretty decent built guy. Those 39-inch tires are no joke, Price. Like, that is not an easy tire change.
No, not at all. Well, we ended up going down to Phoenix, Arizona to Geyser Brothers, where they prep all the trucks and they get them all ready to go for RPM. And Rick Geyser had a little time aside to go take us out in the truck for the first time and then give us a chance to drive it. And honestly, when I first ever drove the truck, I feel like coming from side-by-sides and talking to people who've driven them a lot, they're always like, oh, yeah, they're super easy to drive, and, it's just a lot more cushier and everything soaks up better. And so I kind of figured, like, okay, like, you just pretty much pin it, and the truck does everything. And, well, that wasn't the thoughts in my head when I first drove it. It was a lot harder than I expected, which, I was excited for that, because the truck that I'm driving is a 6100 truck, pretty much, with a supercharger on the crate engine and with 40-inch tires on it. So it's a little bit different than the bigger trucks that they're racing in trophy truck class. So this one you would have to work a lot harder in. But it likes to stay on top and kind of ski around a little bit more, and it's really twitchy compared to the other trucks because it's not so heavy. So I felt comfortable right away in it, honestly, because the stadium trucks are pretty equivalent to the way this truck felt.
Yeah.
And me and Erica didn't want to get out of it, honestly.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, I know it's kind of one of those things. Well, it all depends. At the end of Vegas Arena, I'm ready to get out of the truck. Like, I'm just over it. It's like, get me out of this thing, right? But that's like, that's like 14 hours later, but I could understand at Laughlin. So take us through this. I know you raced in the 8100 class. So my thought is they probably they wanted you to get kind of a race under your belt, you know what I mean, and build up to racing in trophy truck, right? I mean, was that kind of the goal of it? Just get you some seat time, feel it out, you know what I mean, see what race conditions are like, and then, and kind of graduate up?
Yeah, I think definitely that was what Clyde and Justin were thinking. So this is their so-called, they call it their little truck, which it's not a little truck to us. It's this trophy truck. But they have their all-wheel drive truck, and so when it compares to those other trucks of theirs, it's a little different. But, yeah, I think they wanted to put us in the open class just to pretty much get us time in the car and kind of see what we're about and how we'll do and how we keep a truck together and vice versa. And yeah, we went out there in that, and the first time we had minimal testing time. We only had a few hours in the truck, but then just hopped straight in it, and freaking, we did awesome. We absolutely killed it, and there's times when we're pushing the truck and we're like, how fast we're going? Are you speed bumps? Like, we won't go any faster. And to say that in a trophy truck was pretty incredible because me and Erica never thought we'd ever be going that fast.
Yeah, well, and I know one thing about trophy trucks, and I've told a lot of people, I'm like, anybody can get in one and drive it in a straight line really, really fast. I said it's not hard. I mean, they'll eat up just about anything. Like, I don't care who you are. I can put you in and show you how things work, and within 5 minutes I can have you going 100 miles an hour over whoops if you've got enough, if you just got enough guts to do it, right? But the problem is when you're going that fast, when something does happen and you do get a little bit out of control, that's when people without driving talent, they lose it. You know what I mean? Because you're going that fast and things happen so quick. I'm like, anybody can drive that fast, but only a handful of people, when you're going that fast, know how to correct and keep it going that fast without, ending up tumbling 7 or 8 times, and props to you, because there's so many people I know that debuted in trophy truck and they rolled in trophy truck their very first race. For you to bring it home, finish second in class, that's saying something. You kept it together, you didn't ball it up. Like, that's an accomplishment in itself, Sara.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I didn't realize that so many trophy trucks roll all the time until we kind of started getting involved with it more and talking to people. And they're like, oh, yeah, they rolled last race, and they did this last race. And then when we're at the race, a few trucks rolled. And I was like, man, this is kind of like side-by-side racing, but in just bigger, really more expensive things. And I'm like, I didn't expect this.
Yeah, it's like Amy and Monster Trucks. They just roll every race, right, Hood?
Yeah, I didn't expect those things to roll as much as they do, but yeah. We're not really going as high.
I know, the monster trucks, those things are crazy. Everyone's just rolling, and there's, the crowd loves it, though, so you almost want to.
Oh, yeah, but that's the thing, the crowd loves it. That's what they want to see. The mechanics don't like it as much, but every kid who comes through the line, and you ask them what their favorite part was, it's, when Zombie or Grave Digger was upside down. It's like, cool. I actually did not try to do that.
Yeah.
But you're welcome, kid.
See, that's the difference. See, Amy flips and she gets a bonus. Sarah, you and I flip and we get to write a check.
I can't really hear Amy too well on the other side, but I can hear a little bit of her, but not much.
Okay. Yeah, we're trying out this new phone line system, and it must just be kind of wonky today. So,
But yeah, so when we went to Geyser, the funniest thing was they always, especially Erica, she grew up racing in desert and Class 1 class and all that stuff. And so the biggest thing that's always been told to us since we've started on this new venture is, well, you girls can't change a tire that fast. You guys can't do this or that. So we're like, okay. So then we'll go to Geyser, and we're sitting there for the day. We're just learning the truck and seeing what they have going on down there, and it's a top-notch operation. It really is. The Geyser team is just incredible. And we had some time to spare, so we started just doing tire changes. We worked out a program and learned how to do it as fast as we could. And those are 40s, so they're probably almost twice as heavy as Erica. And we got it down to pretty much 3 minutes, a 3-minute tire change. But that's with both of us strapped into the truck, getting out of the truck, doing our tire change. We have to use teamwork, obviously, to get that wheel back up on the spare mount, and then get right back in, and that's belted. So for us to do that together as teamwork, I felt like that was pretty good for a tire change for us. So I was pretty pumped on that.
That's really good. And, and the biggest thing, too, I've learned, like, with tire changes, too, you mentioned the belts. It's getting back in afterwards and getting, like, your belt situated, make sure your Hans device is on, right? Like, getting everything hooked. Like, to me, that takes almost as long as it does to change the darn tire.
For sure.
It's one of those things where you've got to be situated right as a driver because you don't want to go over, you know what I mean, without everything on. But yeah, 3 minutes, that's solid. Like, you hear these guys, and I don't know, does that thing actually, do you have a pump jack or does that have the air jacks on it?
We have a pump jack on that truck.
I hate air jacks.
Take the jack out.
Yeah, see, I like the pump jack because they don't fail. A lot of times with the air jacks and stuff like that, they go, they have problems. But I've seen guys go, oh, we can do a 90-second tire change, and like a lot of people can do that in the shop, you know what I mean, on the concrete or something like that. But it's not real race conditions. But 3 minutes, like that's nothing. If that's belted in at 3 minutes, that's rock solid. So that ain't bad at all.
No, but that was in the shop though, on concrete, and that's in the best conditions you can think of. So we're thinking when we have to do it in a race situation, it will be a little bit slower, but hopefully not. And we did get a flat on our first race in the first day, and we were close enough to the hot pit for them to change it, so that worked out. But we were almost about to test our ability out in the race course, so we were almost there. We're almost excited to do it, but it's faster having to do it in the hot pit if we're close enough. So,
yeah. What's the plans for this year? I know I know you had told me originally like there was no plans past. We're going to do it once and just kind of evaluate and kind of go from there, right? You know what I mean? You didn't know if there was going to be more races or what. I mean, you got to think, hey, you finished second in class. The truck's in really good shape. Like, hey, I had a pretty good audition here. Are we going to do this again? Do you know?
Well, actually, I hope Justin's listening right now. He had messaged me this morning. He just let me know. He's like, hey, I'm trying to get you back in the truck and just letting you know. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, just mouth wide open, like in awe, don't know what to say. Honestly, Clyde and Justin are the best two people I've ever met in racing. Like, they are the most humble, nicest, most genuine people, and it's really cool to see that with such success from a team. And they were super pumped on how we did, and it's tough keeping those trucks together, and that's a big part of it. And me and Erica, we rode a really smooth race, and we got the hang of it. The last race, we absolutely had a flawless race. We started in the front and did really good, and then just stuck with it. Just did what we could in the truck and learn it as much as we can, pushing it in new areas, learning how to turn it better, and vice versa. And I don't think we made one mistake the whole time.
No, that's awesome. And past the trophy truck stuff, I know talked about doing some Terracross this year. You've got your new play car done. Any other plans for any kind of racing, Price?
As of right now, I don't really know what I have going on. The biggest thing I have is just pretty much hoping the truck stuff kind of goes through more and get more in depth with that. And then side-by-sides, I just finished my play car, like you said, and I'm just kind of having fun with that. I brought it to the race this weekend, and we did the poke around in it and all kinds of stuff in that. So, of course, always looking at new things with the side-by-sides and have some options in front of me. So I'm just kind of weighing them out and seeing what direction to go with them. But I think for sure King of the Hammers next year is going to be a for sure thing as of right now.
Yeah.
But I don't know what anytime soon I have going on, but I'm hoping Terracross too.
Awesome. All right. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, Sarah, to call in. Congratulations on the debut there at Laughlin, and we'll definitely chat soon. I know I got to come out and pick up a cage from Mr. James here shortly, so I'm sure we'll have to grab lunch or something.
Oh, sounds great. Bye, you guys.
All right. Thanks, Sarah.
All right. Bye.
Bye. All right, and we're going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. We'll be back after this. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty Radio Show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Do you race or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500 or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety.
Honey, it's the trunkload of cash at the Blue Water Resort and Casino. And they're giving away $76,000 in cash.
Oh, yeah. The more we play, the more entries we can earn.
Woohoo! Plus, they're giving away over $3,000 in cash every Saturday.
Then on Saturday, June 24th, a guaranteed $43,000 in cash will be given away.
See the club for details.
Blue Water Resort and Casino. Right on the water, right on the money.
All the hits of Boston and Styx. Boz Styx, a tribute to two great rock bands, live in the Blue Water Resort and Casino showroom. Don't miss David Victor, former lead singer of Boston, perform Boston and Styx greatest hits Saturday, May 27th. Doors open at 7 p.m. Show starts at 8. General admission tickets just $25. VIP only $40. Tickets on sale now. Get your tickets at the gift shop or online.
Blue Water Resort and Casino.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Had a couple of weekend events happening over the weekend. Torque in action and Formula Drift in action, and Formula D. Man, we had a shakeup here. It was like the European invasion, Amy. I don't know, the Europeans taking the entire podium in Formula Drift, and a bunch of guys we don't normally see up on top. James Dean, Dean Kearney, and Kristaps blew us. Let's put it this way: Kristaps was such a big deal. The Formula Drift website doesn't even have his picture. He took a podium, and they don't even have his picture to put on the website. Like, that's how crazy it was, this podium, that like all these guys nobody even knew. So it's kind of cool, and a literally a relatively unknown, where they don't even have your picture, and you take a podium and they don't even have a picture to throw up on the website. Like, that's cool to me. I'm like, that guy was like,
that's pretty sweet.
Yeah,
I like that. That's kind of like the unsung hero who comes out, shows up, has something to prove to his ex-girlfriend or something. But
yeah.
But this way, his name's going to blow up for sure. So
yeah.
Before he becomes huge, we've got to bring him on the radio show.
Yeah, actually, that's a good idea. I probably ought to reach out to him. That'd be a fun one for sure. And yeah, and then also we had Torque in action. Our friends at Torque, CJ Greaves taking a win. Johnny Greaves taking a win. Both of those in Pro 4. Keegan Kincaid also with a couple of podiums in his new Pro 4 truck. Pro 2, it was Eric Ruppel taking a win there in round number 1. Round number 2, Luke Johnson, very first ever Pro 2 victory. Congrats goes out to Luke, the son of Ricky Johnson, one of the greatest supercrossers of all time. We had Casey Curry with a win. Stoked to see him racing Torque this year, and Kleiman also with wins in Pro Light. And then Rodney Van Epperen and Tim Farr taking victories in Pro Mod UTV, Pro Stock UTV. It was CJ Greaves, and CJ Greaves once again the sweep for CJ Greaves. And we are going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. And when we come back, we've got a little bit of rally action to talk about. And I don't know, Amy's going to appreciate this one. So that and more here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it. So when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than join Polaris in their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. Jim Beaver, Amy Hood here, kicking off a Dirtfish Rally Report for this week, brought to you by our good friends at Dirtfish Rally School. Looking for 15% off a class, use the coupon code JBDirtfish, and it'll net you 15% off a class there at Dirtfish Rally School. So we had a couple of rally events happening over the weekend. We got GRC in Louisville this coming up weekend, but this past weekend we had ARA Rally happening at the Olympus Rally. And, man, another shootout with David Higgins and Travis Pastrana, much like the Ojibwe rally last year that Amy went to with me. And, man, we had a shootout until Trav ended up parking the car, and then we all ended up in the bar, right? But
yeah, into a tree.
Yeah. So, no, David Higgins and Craig Drew, though, ended up taking the overall victory. Travis Pastrana in second. But the big news is David Higgins and Craig Drew, the team, that was their 30th career victory together. That's pretty impressive. I mean, Higgins got a ton of victories, but for a driver and a co-driver to stay together as long as Higgins and Drew have and taken 30 victories, that's mighty impressive there. So Pastrana and Durant, our buddy Robbie, taking second. McKenna and Leon Jordan third. David Nickel and Alex Gelsomino fourth. And Ryan Millen and Alex's wife Rhiannon Gelsomino taking fifth. Your winner in production class was SP, was Tino Fortunato. Big shout out to him. Brandon Semenuk taking what did he get? 10th overall in that Subaru Crosstrek. Mountain biker / rally guy. Wears the Red Bull hat. Canadian, one of the greatest mountain bikers on the planet right now. So he's dabbling in rally. I don't know. You Canadians, you just bounce all over the place. You guys can do anything, right, Hood?
Well, yes, because we have 4 seasons. You know, I feel like a lot of people, especially from America or whatever, can't do any type of winter sports or can't do any type of water sports. It really depends where you're from. But in Canada, we have a little bit of everything here. So we got to kind of adapt like a chameleon, and we can just be good at everything.
Yeah, I knew you'd have some kind of crazy answer. All right, so we also... We also had FI World Rallycross Championship happening over the weekend. Johan Kristoffersen taking the win. Finally, somebody other than Matthias Ekstrom taking a victory. Timmy Hansen in second. Petter Solberg in third. Our boy Andreas Backerud, he finished in sixth. Good to see the Hoonigan boys in the finals yet again. Ken Block, he did make a semifinal number 2. Didn't transfer into the main event. But stoked to see the Hoonigan boys back there in the finals. Seeing those cars come along there. So Matthias Ekstrom currently points leader. Johan Kristoffersen in second. Petter Solberg third in the points. And we're going to take a short break. We come back. Joe Duncan and Terracross here after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning RZR XP 1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris RZRs to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris RZRs RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris RZR vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR. For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry, it's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
All the hits of Boston and Styx. Boz Styx, a tribute to 2 great rock bands, live in the Blue Water Resort and Casino showroom. Don't miss David Victor, former lead singer of Boston, perform Boston and Styx greatest hits Saturday, May 27th. Doors open at 7 p.m. Show starts at 8. General admission tickets just $25. VIP only $40. Tickets on sale now. Get your tickets at the gift shop or online.
Blue Water Resort and Casino.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, along with Joe Duncan from Terracross. This is Terracross Starts with Optimus segment, brought to you by our good friends at Optimus Starters, starting every razor in the Terracross Championship, as well as my whole fleet of razors. And, I don't know, quite a bit of other things I own as well. But, Joe Duncan, welcome to the show, my friend. How's everything going, buddy?
Things are great, Jim Beaver. Just rolling back from Oklahoma. Got to go down and check out some of the up-and-coming superstars of motocross and supercross down at the Lucas Oil Junior Nationals down in Guthrie, Oklahoma.
Oh, you know what? I forgot you were going down there. I had Ryder DeFrancesco on air last week, and he was actually traveling over to Oklahoma when he called into the show. But, yeah, how was that?
Pretty amazing. Those guys did an incredible job building the course down there and putting on an awesome show with some amazing young talented drivers. Wow! And our good friend Brian Deegan and Danger Boy were there, and we're doing really well, and got to see some of our couple of Terracross fans and some potential Terracross racers coming up for the future here we talked to.
Yeah, it's almost it's going to get the point, Joe, where you're going to have all these divisions and you got to throw in like a Razor 570 or 170 division, like 570 division for the kids or something, you know? It's like that's the next step, right? Growing this into this massive property, right?
Yeah, well, kind of a little bit ahead of schedule, but we're actually looking at the Ace 150 youth class for 2018, and I think we already have like six kids that are ready to go, and pretty pumped parents to come on board if this thing all comes together like it's looking like.
Well, I got an 8-year-old daughter who's got a Razor 170, and I think she'd throw her name in the ring there, Joe Duncan, if you come up with a Ace 170 or Ace 150 class or something. So just saying.
Well, I think your daughter, Harlan's daughter, Joey D, kids. I mean, we got a list of if you're not talking about celebrity up and coming UTV kids, I don't know what is. If you look at that little group alone, not to forget about all the racers that have kids. Just think of Jamie Luberg's boys coming up, and some of the other racers that have kids already that are going to be right in that age range. How fun is that going to be with the Ace 150 and a bunch of pretty talented, probably already, racers?
Yeah, it's crazy because, when I was a kid, we had dirt bikes and ATVs and things like that, right? And so, but I was never in something with four wheels, so until probably about the time I was 12 or 13, and Dad had a pre-runner, and we go out in the desert, and he let me drive it around and stuff. But now these kids, with the razors and things like that, it's crazy how talented they are at such a young age, and I'm just going, wow, and like they have driving skill. You look at somebody like Sierra Omo, the girl's 16, and she's just a phenomenally talented driver. I'm like, man, I wasn't that good when I was 21. It's like, because I never had the Razor platform, to grow and come up through. I look at my daughter it's 8, and she's driving this 170 at 100%. She's getting everything out of the car she can, and I'm like, this is crazy. It really is,
Well, I think you look at all the things that these kids these days have the ability to do that obviously we never did, or if we did, there was only a very few, but there'll be an announcement coming out here shortly. But you look at these 12-volt razors and these 24-volt razors, and they're basically the stepping stones. You watch on any of the social media, and what these kids are doing in these little plastic toy machines, and now with Polaris having the 150 and then the 158. The 170 Razor and the 570 Razor, they can walk their way right up as they grow up, which is something would have been, cool for all of us growing up. But we're actually going to have some electric racing Razors at Heydays and probably the rest of our events as well. And it's going to be open to the kids at the Terracross events that are just there watching. Okay. They'll be able to go out and drive them. And then we're going to have a little race program with some specialty 24-volt razors that are there, and really push that youth program growing up in the sport of off-road and walking those steps all the way up the full line of machines, to be able to grow in that sport. And to be honest, to get them off the phones and off the iPads and off the electronics and get them out having some fun. And it's a family activity, so the whole family can participate.
Yeah, well, and I think that's the biggest thing, getting them off the electronics, right? You and I are just as bad as anybody because we're on our phones all day for business, but it's like, man, at some point it's nice to shut down the tech and just go out and have some fun outside, and I think, it's one of those things. My daughter, she's into video games and phones and iPads and stuff. I don't even know what it is, but I can say, hey, Addie, you want to go drive the Razors? Boom. It doesn't matter what's going on. It's drop. Let's go drive the Razor.
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome.
And it's kind of cool, and I'm very fortunate that, we've got one. But, yeah, I think for these kids to be able to experience it, that'd be a lot of fun. So, how's everything shaping up? I know we just had Sara Price on. She went and raced a trophy truck this past weekend, but I know she was saying she's amped for Terracross to get underway. She's kind of chomping at the bit a bit. So I know Jolene's same way. And, how's everything shaping up, buddy?
Things are shaping up good. Our meetings last week went very, very well, which means we're on to the next step of getting ready to sign some contracts. And when those contracts are signed, we'll be announcing right here on your show of what's going on. And we got some big news and some stuff we've been hinting towards for a few months now. But I'm just so excited that we're going to have it's a long-term, bright Terracross future coming, and pretty excited for some announcements that will come over the next few weeks. So it's been a good month. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, I know. I was just in Last week I got invited to local Rotary Club. They meet once a week, and they asked if I'd come in and be their presentation for the week or something like that. Just kind of talk about what I did. And all right, no problem. I'll come in and talk for 15 minutes. I came in and just kind of talked about what I did and racing and just a bunch of randomness, But afterwards, somebody walks up and they go, "Hey, we really like that racing on TV on CBS." They're like, we haven't seen the Terracross on very, and they kind of only half knew what they were talking about, but which has made it more fun. But they're like, when is that coming back on? Because we've got our DVR set. We never miss an episode of that. That's the most exciting racing we see on TV. And I just laughed because it put a smile on my face. And I'm like, here's somebody who they don't know a whole lot about UTVs or anything else, but they know what Terracross is because it's exciting to watch. And I just laughed. I'm like, that's what you're going after, right? The mainstream, it's action packed, and it caught them, and they've got their DVR set.
Well, that's exactly what we put Terracross together for. It's entertainment television. It's not as much as we do racing. It's about the show, and it's about the people within the show, like yourself and the others that race with Terracross. And I wasn't going to say anything, but now you brought it up. It's exactly what happened down in Oklahoma. I was wearing a Terracross hat, and the guy comes up and goes, is that Terracross you're wearing? I'm like, yeah. He goes, oh, I saw that on TV, and my kids were looking at it. I have one kid that rides dirt bike and one kid that drives razors. And it led into a whole conversation about Terracross and potentially racing and what it takes to get in. And he actually went and looked at going and racing side-by-sides, and he started looking at the amount of money it was going to take him to get in, and it kind of scared him away. And so I started explaining to him how Terracross works and what our goals are, and that if he looked into the production classes at the other series to get started instead of starting in the open classes, or kind of what we do with our race packages, it is affordable to get in and get started and to be able to grow in it. So that was really cool. That totally different sport, totally different group of people, and they recognized it because they saw it on TV and they like it. They want to do it. I mean, that was cool.
Yeah. All right, Joe. Well, we got to take a short break, but appreciate the time as always. We'll do it again next week, and we'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris RZR. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our RZR vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of RZR vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a RZR 170 like me, take the entire family out in a RZR XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new RZR XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris RZR. Check out the full Polaris RZR lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris RZR.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, it's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
All the hits of Boston and Sticks. Boz Sticks, a tribute to two great rock bands, live in the Blue Water Resort and Casino Showroom. Don't miss David Victor, former lead singer of Boston, perform Boston and Sticks' greatest hits Saturday, May 27th. Doors open at 7 p.m. Show starts at 8. General admission tickets just $25. VIP only $40. Tickets on sale now. Get your tickets at the gift shop or online.
Blue Water Resort and Casino.
This week on All of the Above with Norman Lear, Veep star Julia Louis-Dreyfus sits down with Norman and Paul.
Well, you know, there wasn't a script when I was first talking to HBO about it. There was a concept, and my agent had said to me, listen, they're developing this thing at HBO about an unhappy vice president, an unhappy female vice president. And I thought to myself, well, I got to get in on this action because it's gold, and it's so amazing that nobody's done it before.
Listen today on the Podcast One app or subscribe at Apple Podcasts or on PodcastOne.com.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to have my friend Lindsey Hayes with Destination Polaris to the line. How's everything going, Lindsey?
Hi, Jim. Things are going great. Thank you. I'm happy to make my first appearance on here. It's long overdue. I look forward to it.
Yeah, I know. We've been talking about this for, I don't know, I think this is my third year that Polaris has been the title sponsor of this radio show. And you and I think since year one have been texting, hey, we need to get you on air to talk about Destination Polaris. So I'm happy we finally got you on to talk about it. Sure.
Yeah, it's nice. I'm not up in the mountains somewhere with no cell phone reception today, so it works out good.
Yeah. Well, that being said, you have probably one of the best jobs I can think about in the world, man. You know, not only you're on TV, but you're on TV doing really fun stuff every week. You know, you're going on these trips with Polaris. I mean, you're doing a lot of stuff in the outdoor space. Like, you know, it's got to be a fun ride. Some of these things you get to go and do with Polaris.
Yeah, it really is. You know, I almost pinch myself some days. You say that you look for your dream job, and I really finally feel like I have reached that goal. And some of the places that I've gotten to see, I mean, we really travel all over the country and even some international trips. And not only is it seeing the destinations, but a lot of it for me is meeting the people and meeting people that share the same passion as you and I, that we love to be outside, we love to seek adventure, and we love to off-road. And so it's the best of all of those worlds combined, and it's pretty cool that then you get to share those stories with the rest of the people in our community and the off-road family that love this as well.
Yeah, you know, and that's what's funny because, you know, I've owned Razors for a long time, but I was officially, you know, quote, brought into the Razor family, you know, like 3 years ago. And, you know, there's this hashtag Razor Life, right? And I don't think people, you know, that aren't a part of it, they don't understand that it's a whole lifestyle. I mean, and people, they're drawn to other people, you know, within, you know, the hashtag Razor Life lifestyle. And I know me, it's like already, I mean, I do a lot of work in all kinds of motorsports, and no matter where I go, people want to talk about Razors. I know I'm already getting tweets from people like, I'm going to be at the Indy 500 qualifying this weekend in Indianapolis, and I'm already getting tweets, hey, are you going to be there? And they're all Razor people that are going to watch the, you know, qualifying for Indy 500, but they want to find me and talk about Razors. And I think that's what's amazing about this whole movement is that it really is just a massive family.
Yeah, it really is. And I think the cool thing about it too is that, you know, it's really defying all different things it brings people together, you know, that we have all different backgrounds, but this is one part of life that everyone just seems to rally around and have a good time. And you know, Camp Razor is one of those places where I really see that cultivate and bring everyone together. And it's people from all across the United States that have that passion. And then they come out there, and a lot of them have never met each other. They meet each other for 1 or 2 days, and then they're best friends. And it becomes, hey, let's go ride here, let's go ride there. And so it's really cool to see. And I also think that, you know, you have that diverse background of some just love it for the racing and getting that throttle therapy in, and others love it because it's their family time, and it is getting the family together in the busy craziness of the world. You go and unplug, and you go for a ride on a weekend and spend some quality family time together. And it's kind of cool. And then you've got those ranchers in the Midwest and the heart of America that they get in these machines and they are the right-hand man on a daily basis because they help get the job done and get the chores done and keep the cows in line. So we kind of feature all of those people on the show, and they all encompass, that Polaris lifestyle and the Razor lifestyle as well.
Yeah, well, and I know you guys have been fortunate enough. I know I'm after you. We've actually got Rob with Warfighter made. He's coming on the show, but I know you've been fortunate enough, especially I think the Rockstar trip, right? You guys did with Rockstar and Warfighter made, and with the military. That had to have been something really cool to see how Razor's really got involved with the military and supporting military causes.
Yeah, and that is a huge push right now for Polaris, is the giving back, and especially with Warfighter Made and giving back to our veterans. You can see it at Camp Razor, yes, on our Rockstar ride. Our Rockstar ride was awesome. We basically went out to Fort Irwin for a week, and we had some of the Rockstar off-road and extreme athletes from all across the country be there and give their time to Tanner Faust and R.J. Anderson were giving all sorts of the, soldiers rides in the Polaris Razors and really showing them the very extreme version of off-roading. And then some members on base also got to walk home winners of brand new Razor turbos, which was pretty cool. And so, I think that is a huge part of it. And Rob Blanton has done an amazing job with Warfighter Made, and the stories that you hear of these veterans, the least we can do is to find some way to give back to them and say, thank you so much. You are appreciated. And hey, let's show you a way to have some fun. And I think that that's the cool part about it is so many of these guys come back from overseas and they need an outlet to make them feel just normal again. And the story we did with them at Camp Razor was two guys, and that's what they said, this is our fun time. This finally brings us back together, and it's pretty cool. So it's fun to share those stories. I mean, that's why I love my job is, yes, it gets off-road, but more telling the stories of just, how the off-road community really picks each other up and makes life fun.
Yeah. And speaking of that, I know this weekend we've got, I guess this new season of Destination Polaris launching. What can we expect to see this year as fans of the show?
Well, it's pretty cool. So the season runs from January all the way until July. But the way we do it is we have 20 new shows a season, 10 new shows, and those 10 repeat. And then these new 10 start up this Sunday. And it's funny, I've been doing the show for 3 years, but every time it seems like they get better and better and better. And we only just scratched the surface of all the great places to ride, across the nation. But we've got some pretty cool locations coming up, East and West Coast, you name it, and in between. We go to Maine, Quebec, Colorado, California, the Carolinas, and we have some also awesome Project X builds. So, you name it, kind of the sky is the limit. But we're going to kick off this Sunday with, there's been the buzz about the XP 1K4 video that just dropped with R.J. Anderson and his new 2017 Razor XP Turbo build. And, those videos are pretty much off the charts. And R.J. does so many awesome stunts and is such a good guy. So we actually go behind the scenes. And we kind of show you how that video comes to life. And, you get some of the crazy things he does in there, like the wall of death is back and how he defies gravity. And also, I think my favorite part of this year's was when he does the backflip. And actually, if you walk really close, you can see he takes out one of the drones midair. And so, you get to hear from RJ about what it was like to be a part of that and how he prepped and the X, Y, and Z of that, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that is awesome. I know I had him on the week after I think it launched, and that was like out of everything. I think that was like his claim to greatness in the video. It wasn't that he backflipped; it was that he took a drone out. It's like, he's proud of that. Like he earned that one.
Yeah. It's funny. But, yeah, and then another really cool one is that we went to Quebec, Canada. And so we basically flew into Montreal, and then you trailer about 3 hours north. And a group of local outfitters have actually created an ATV circuit. So you can go from outfitter to outfitter to outfitter. And so this is a trip if you like the remote wilderness, but then with 5-star accommodations along the trails in between. This was an awesome ride. But basically we did a week-long trip up there, and you have hard-pack, trails that are built for speed to get to and from each outfitter. But then once you're at each outfitter, they all have their own private trails. So if you want to get into the technical rock crawls and mud and anything else you can imagine, you can do that. And the nice thing is you've got, hosts at each of these places that give you directions to the next location. You got great food, amazing fishing. I caught a wall mounter, a monster 29-inch walleye while I was up there. And so it was just a fun all-around trip. But I think that one speaks a lot more to that family or your friends. If you're looking for a fun getaway, that could be a really cool one.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we got about a minute left, Lindsey, but so this Sunday, the next 10 episodes are debuting time and on Fox Sports. What time?
Yeah, so we air on Sundays at 11:30 on Fox Sports Network, so every region across the country, and then also again on Tuesdays and Thursdays they re-air. And you can also go to destinationpolaris.com for more information about when shows air and to see all of our other episodes as well.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to call in. I know we got to do this more often, like during the season, maybe like once a month or something like that instead of once every 3 years, right?
Yes, I agree with that.
So, awesome. Well, I appreciate the time, Lindsey. Thanks a lot. We'll definitely be tuned in this Sunday, and we'll chat soon.
All right. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. All right, that was Lindsey Hayes with Destination Polaris, debuting this Sunday, Fox Sports Network. Definitely be tuned into that. If you live the Razor life, you need to be locked and loaded into Destination Polaris. We'll be back after this on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson, factory Polaris driver, and I drive Polaris because it's the most capable, race-ready off-road vehicle on the market.
When R.J. Anderson wanted to set a world record for the longest UTV jump in history, not once but twice, what company did he trust? Polaris and their championship-winning Razor XP1000. R.J. is a UTV champion behind the wheel of Polaris vehicles, and he exclusively trusts the Polaris Razors to bring him race wins and championships against some of the toughest off-road racers in the world. The same Polaris Razors RJ has won championships in, set world records in, and conquered the Wall of Death in XP1K2 are available to you at your local Polaris dealer. Take the advice of world record holder RJ Anderson and visit Polaris on the web at Polaris.com to see the full lineup of Polaris Razor vehicles, or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
For 100 years, General Tire has provided tires for your lifestyle, your adventure, your anywhere. Born from competition, the Grabber tire offers the durability and off-road traction you demand in a tire. We put these tires to the test in the harshest off-road racing conditions to give you a tire that will make your anywhere possible. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us photos at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible. Because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Do you race or are you a weekend warrior? Have you checked on the date on your helmet recently? Don't get caught off guard by using an outdated helmet. Impact Racing, the leader in motorsport safety, has new SA 2015 helmets to fit your budget. Whether you're looking for a helmet with a full carbon fiber shell to take you to victory at the Indy 500 or just looking for some helmets for a weekend at Glamis, Impact Racing has a helmet for you. Find out more information at impactraceproducts.com or on Facebook at Impact Safety.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. A 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Hey, I'm RJ Anderson.
Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. I'd like to welcome my good friend from Warfighter made, Rob Blanton, to the show. How's everything going, my friend?
What's going on, guys? How are you?
Life is good, man. It's like the Polaris Razor Hour here on the show. We had my buddy Joe Duncan from Terracross. We had Lindsey Hayes with Destination Polaris right on before you, and now we got you. She was talking about some of the stuff they've done with you guys. I know they did went out and did the Rockstar ride with you guys, and she was saying how much fun that was. And man, you guys have been killing it lately, buddy.
Yeah, Lindsey's my girl. Operation Desert Run, Rockstar, Polaris Razor. Went out to Fort Irwin. Got to hang out with the soldiers there. I was kind of like the military rep. And, man, it was just a fantastic time and got to do some really cool things with the soldiers on Fort Irwin.
Yeah, and I know you and I talked at the UTV World Championship a little bit, and we got we'll talk about the reason why you're here in a minute. But dude, the whole thing with Toyota and Supercross that you guys were able to do this year, man, how special was that for you guys in Warfighter made to get that? I mean, to get that viewership for the organization, man, that was something really, really special that you guys were able to put together.
Well, I tell you, it was really awesome for Monster Energy Supercross to contact us and basically say, hey, this is an idea we have. This is how we want to do it. Will you be a part of this and partner with Toyota? And the coolest thing about it all is doing the show and making the viewers believe that we were building this vehicle for ourselves. And in the end, we were always building it for, combat wounded soldier Craig Hall. That was awesome. And when we were able to give him the Toyota Tacoma and just kind of see the look of disbelief on his face, it was pretty special. And it was really a awesome experience for all of us involved in. And we hope we get to do it again at some point.
Yeah, I know watching it, and following the story along, and he had absolutely no idea, man. You want to talk about a guy in disbelief. He was just like, what? Like, it was almost like a double take. Are you kidding me? I mean, it was, wow, emotional and everything else. That was really special, man. But it was really cool to see you guys. And I didn't even know it was coming. I just tuned into the first Supercross, and boom, up pops Warfighter made. I'm like, all right, my boys are on TV.
Yeah. What's funny about that is the one thing that we're terrible at is the whole social media thing.
Yeah.
We're so busy, trying to take care of our veterans and whatnot. But we're definitely getting better at it. And this whole Razor Salute to Heroes is a big thing for us, and we're super excited.
Yeah, I know Polaris reached out to me probably about a month ago on Salute to Heroes and kind of told me what was going on. I'm like, all right, we got to get Rob on air and, and talk about this. But I know I've got some ideas. Like, I'm going to have a video that I'm going to put out sometime in the next couple of weeks. But tell us about this whole program, because I know, you and I talking at the UTV World Championship, I mean, it's amazing what Warfighter Mate's doing for all these veterans, but at the same point in time, like you said, it takes money to keep all this great stuff happening, and as much as people see you out there and on TV, at the end of the day, if the donations aren't coming in, you guys aren't able to do what you guys do,
And that's really important to to highlight, because without the donations, we can't do what it is that we do for our veterans. And we really just want, all the listeners to understand that Warfighter Made, we're 100% volunteer. We don't have any paid employees. So when people donate to Warfighter Made, 100% of that donation goes directly to the services that we provide for our veterans, whether it's doing the recreational therapy trips with Polaris Razors or adapting and customizing vehicles for catastrophically wounded warfighters.
Yeah. And so, take us through the Salute to Heroes. I know, there's, I think last time I heard there was like 16 prizes, but I know Diesel Brothers are involved now. There's some amazing prizes up. How do people, get involved in this with the prizes, and how do they get involved, man?
Polaris Razor has really made this super simple for anyone to get involved. By simply going to social media and using the hashtag RazorLife, RZRLIFE, or Razor Salute to Heroes, Polaris will donate $5 per hashtag. And then if you have a little expendable income, if you go to www.razorsalutetoheroes.com, there is a donate button right there that you can donate anything, any dollar amount, and that money comes directly to Warfighter Made. There is no middleman. It hits our account immediately, and you get entered to win all kinds of prizes. I mean, as you said, the Diesel Brothers are building a custom Polaris Razor Turbo, and Box Shocks has a package, Proline Wraps, Tanner Faust is giving stuff out. I mean, it's just, we're pretty humbled by everyone who's stepped up to help us out, and we're really thankful.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It was kind of cool yesterday. I log on to, I think it was Instagram, and literally like the top 20 posts that pulled up in my feed was all Salute to Heroes videos. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is cool when you can get that much action, and it was to the point where there was so many postings. I'm like, I'm going to wait till today when I post my video, because there was so many posting yesterday. I'm like, I'll be the guy that posts today just to kind of remind everybody this is going on, because I was like, man, they don't need another post yesterday. It was crazy, man. My feed was taken over, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah, I'm not mad at anybody for sharing it. Thank you guys very much. I was caught off guard because Polaris, I think, Polaris has been such an amazing supporter of Warfighter Made and our veterans. And honestly, they've kind of kept us in the dark a little bit. So when we got a notification and checked social media, and there's Travis Pastrana and Jolene Van Vott and Herbert, doing a video for us, for the Razor Salute to Heroes. I mean, it seriously caught us off guard, and all the veterans that are here in the shop, we all gathered around and watched it. And then afterwards, there were some high fives, because this has been in our opinion, it's been a long process, and we know we make a difference in the lives of veterans every single day. But there's been some times where we're wondering if other people are seeing it, and if they care. And with the Razor Salute to Heroes campaign and what we did with Monster Energy Supercross and Toyota, we're starting to feel the love, and it's been pretty fantastic.
Yeah, well, and that's always, that's always something I love hearing, you guys talk about feeling the love, because I know, the underlying thing here is a lot of our veterans, they come back and they're not feeling the love, and for you, to say that, hey, we're feeling the love, that to me kind of gets me choked up, because I'm like, you guys ought to feel the love, these guys coming home, they need to know they're loved, man. We appreciate what they've done, and and what they've done for our country, and I love it hearing you guys say, hey, man, we're feeling the love, because to me that's like, all right, we're finally doing our part to help you guys out.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's much appreciated. I mean, we've talked in length about a lot of veterans do come back from combat and we're confused. It's, you come back to a nation that spends a lot of time praising the entertainment industry and professional sports and whatnot, which, it's not a bad thing. It's our culture and how it is. But, a lot of vets are like, hey, I just lost my brother or sister over here and I'm in turmoil and I just need some support, but it's starting to come around and things are good. And we work with a lot of great organizations, other nonprofits, and we're always taking care of our vets. I get contacted by other nonprofits all the time that say, hey, we have this veteran that isn't necessarily into what it is that we provide, and he said that he loves doing off-road type stuff. So, take care of him. And we do the same thing. We have a large network of great nonprofits that we work with. So any veteran that comes to us and isn't necessarily into off-roading or working on cars, still reach out to us, because we have nonprofits that do hunting and fishing and motorcycle racing and horseback riding and just everything in between. And we are here just like these other organizations to give back, show you the love and that appreciation for your sacrifices.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. It's awesome. So before we let you go, one more time, we got it just kicked off yesterday. Salute to Heroes. Got a bunch of prizes that Polaris and a bunch of different amazing athletes and people have donated. So to get in on it, hashtag RazorLife. Polaris is donating $5 every time somebody hashtags RazorLife on social media. And then in addition, they can go and make a donation through Warfighter Made website, correct?
No, well, so the two hashtags that they can use to get us hooked up with Polaris Razor is hashtag RazorLife and hashtag Razor Salute to Heroes. And then if they want to make a donation to automatically be entered to win the cool prizes and that Polaris Razor Turbo that's being built by the Diesel brothers, all they have to do is go to www.razorsalutetoheroes.com, and all the information's laid out there, and you can see the prizes and everything else.
Awesome, man. Well, we'll definitely keep pumping this out the next couple of weeks. Hopefully money starts flowing in for you guys, and lots of fun having you on air. We need to do it more often, buddy. We need to make this a regular thing. I know you and I, like you said, you're busy and I get busy, and once in a while I get a text and you got from you and things like that. But we need to link up more often, man. I love having you on air, buddy.
Hey, man, anytime I get to share the airwaves with Amy and Sara and Lindsey, I'm down. I'm down because I love seeing the little the social media posters that include me with them. So
yeah,
anytime, man.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks a lot, Rob. Thank you for everything, buddy. And best of luck to you with this promotion. We'll be pushing it out, and we'll definitely see you out at one of the races soon.
Can't wait, man. Thanks to all your listeners for supporting us, and thank you, Jim. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks a lot, Rob.
Talk to you guys. Bye.
All right. Bye. All right, that was Rob Blanton with Warfighter Made. Don't forget, use that hashtag RazorLife, and every time you use the hashtag RazorLife, they're going to be giving away $5 to our boys at Warfighter Made. And you go to Razor Salute to Heroes. Go to that website, and you can enter, make a donation, and get entered to win a brand new 2017 Polaris Razor Turbo done up by the Diesel brothers, as well as a bunch of other amazing, epically awesome prizes. So definitely support our boys at Warfighter Made, good friends of mine, and always support our veterans. That's a big thing here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show. Wouldn't be able to do what we do without those amazing men and women in the military. And if you're listening in and you're listening from the American Forces Network, thank you guys for your service to our country, and thanks to all that you guys do, and get back home safe. We're going to take a short break here on the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor, wrapping things up when we get back. I'm Polaris rider Jim Beaver. I race trophy trucks professionally, host a Down and Dirty radio show, and also travel the country announcing motorsports events. I've seen it all, and trust me, I've done most of it, so when it comes time to relax on the weekend, nothing is better than taking time with my family in our Razor vehicles. They've got the reliability I need to just pick up and go explore the desert, dunes, or trail, and have the capability to attack even the harshest terrain. If you're looking for some of the most reliable and safest, and hands down most capable off-road machines in the world, look no further than Polaris and their award-winning lineup of Razor vehicles. Whether you want your daughter to experience off-road driving for the first time in a Razor 170 like me, take the entire family out in a Razor XP4 1000 on the weekend, or shred the desert and dunes in the all-new Razor XP 1000 Fox Edition, Polaris has you handled. Take my advice and join me and some of the best drivers in the world by driving a Polaris Razor. Check out the full Polaris Razor lineup at Polaris.com or follow them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Polaris Razor.
The Subaru WRX and WRX STI, a 268 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine, rockets the WRX around corners and down straightaways. A race-ready 305 horsepower turbocharged Subaru Boxer engine keeps the WRX STI a rally legend. The Subaru WRX and WRX STI. It's not a sibling rivalry. It's a tag team. Get the latest from Subaru Rally Team USA at Subaru.com/rally.
Looking to have some fun on four wheels? Dirtfish Rally School has you covered. Packing as much adrenaline and adventure as you can handle into high-performance all-wheel drive and rear-wheel drive Subaru rally cars is where the fun begins at Dirtfish. Just 30 minutes outside of Seattle in Snoqualmie, you'll get a chance to train up to 3 full days with some of the country's best instructors and be put through the high-octane rush of rally on mud, dirt, and tarmac. Get started today and call 425-888-7715 or visit us online at dirtfish.com and use code 911 for a 15% discount.
Life is all about sound, the sound of sports, the sound at the racetrack, and the sound of your vehicle. Don't drive around listening to this. Drive around listening to the sound of performance. Gibson Performance. Gibson Performance Exhaust is the company who can turn this into this. Remember that life is all about sound, and Gibson Exhaust is the sound of performance. Check out your next catback exhaust system, headers, muffler, or UTV exhaust at GibsonPerformance.com and get more power and more sound.
Your life demands a tire that provides durability, comfort, and performance, and that's what General Tire delivers for you. From the all-season grip of the Grabber UHP to the comfort and on-road manners of the Grabber HTS to the durability and off-road traction of the Grabber AT2, General has a tire that will help get you where you need to go. So let us take you on your next big adventure. Tweet us at General Tire, hashtag anywhere is possible, because with General Tire, anywhere is possible. Welcome back to the Down and Dirty Radio Show, powered by Polaris Razor. Jim Beaver here, wrapping things up. Once again, had Rob Blanton with Warfighter made on the show, and that website, Razor Salute to Heroes. Go over there, and you can donate and get entered to win 16 prizes, courtesy of our friends at Polaris Razor and all their partners, and also be entered to win that custom Polaris Razor XP Turbo from the Diesel Brothers. Also, anytime you use the hashtag RazorLife on social media for the next 2 weeks, Razor's going to be donating $5 per hashtag to our boys at Warfighter Made. So hashtag everything RazorLife. Picture, posting up a picture of your lunch, hashtag RazorLife. Posting up a picture of your daughter, hashtag RazorLife. Seriously. Man Crush Monday, Woman Crush Wednesday, hashtag RazorLife. I'm telling you, just add it to everything for the next 2 weeks, and you're going to make our boys at Warfighter Made a bit of money so they can keep helping out our veterans. Don't forget, I will be at the Indy 500 this weekend. Expect some IndyCar tweets and Instagram messages and a whole lot more. So give me a follow at JimBeaver15, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Amy Hood, she's at AmyHood71. She had to bow out early today, go pick up her boyfriend at the airport, but it's at AmyHood71. Man, I just got an amazing group of partners on this show: Polaris Razor, General Tire, Subaru, KC Highlights, Gibson Exhaust, Dirtfish, Impact, Optimus Starters, Terracross, Blue Water Resort and Casino, and our friends at OTSFF. Reach out to them for any and all of your transportation needs. Also, my podcast, Project Action, available on the Podcast One network. Last week it was Ryan Dungy. This next week it's P-Rod, Paul Rodriguez. Make sure and rate, review, subscribe over on iTunes. And if you leave your Twitter, Instagram @username in the review, I will follow you back once I see it. And you can use the coupon code JBDirtfish for 15% off all classes at Dirtfish Rally School. So thanks to all you guys for tuning in, keeping it locked and loaded here. Thanks to my boys at Warfighter Made for calling in, Lindsey Hayes with Destination Polaris, Sarah Price, Joe Duncan, and man, it's definitely been a fun show. Thanks to all you guys for tuning in each and every week. We'll be back at you next week again with another edition of your favorite action motorsports radio show. I'll be back. Next week, obviously. But once again, we're going to sign off today like we do each and every show here. Be safe. As always, game on.